hungry. I'm sleepy. I want to take home. Baby need a spanky.
You make me not like you.
Making you horny?
No, you make me not like
not like
you.
Oh, sorry, I misread that. I thought you meant horny. Some people will be into that. That's a thing, though, right? People like to be dressed up as babies and taken care of.
Yeah, that's true.
They swear it's not sexual, though. Apparently, they swear it's not sexual. It's just
it's like anything that can have a sexual side to it. Like, some fairies are not sexual, but some are. So I think the same is with like the baby thing.
Potentially. Where are we up to? Oh, he's talking about a baby. Yes. Please, let us not digress too much on this story. Arthur was not fitting in with many other children, getting talked like a baby all the time, so he was talking like a baby to get attention. And chronically, he would wet the bed, which isn't... people do that anyway, right? People have that issue.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
can
maybe
lead to multiple different things.
Yeah.
But was he doing this for attention? No.
Well, this person says that it was, but I don't know. Maybe not. I'm going to scrap that from the record. Strike it from the record. Don't believe he was doing that on purpose. People can just wet the bed without doing it on purpose.
Wrong, yeah.
Yeah. So he also began to run away from home for the attention that he received. So it seems to me like he starts to see the attention that he's getting for negative behaviors, and that's an association that I'm assuming, at least, he probably carries on with. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. I could be completely freeball on this whole thing. At school, things weren't any better. Though he maintained pretty good grades, he was always a loner. The other children would tease him and call him Oddie, which is kind of a name. Oddie. Oddie.
Oddie.
Hey, Oddie. How you doing, Oddie? That's my sister, Sylvester Stallone. Sylvester Stallone. You never know. Maybe they went to the same school. Probably not, but not impossible. And he would, so yeah, in retaliation to him being bullied, not so much of a coincidence, he would then bully the younger children in his school until they cried.
That's kind of like a circle of life thing in school, to be fair.
Circle of trauma, as Jamie Lee Curtis would pronounce it. Trauma. I love Jamie Lee Curtis, but when she was doing the rounds of those Halloween interviews, jeez Louise.
I thought, it's just a quirky American accent, but
I've never heard any other American person or Canadian person pronounce trauma.
Is Jamie Lee Curtis Canadian?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Trauma. Not taking the piss out of how people speak. I do myself speak quite strangely sometimes. But yeah, it was just very odd, yeah. Which is a good thing, I guess. Sorry, Jamie Lee Curtis. I know you're listening.
Imagine.
She could do. You never know. Never, ever know. So yeah, he's bullying these little kids. Apparently he would often fly into a rage at others in the class as well, just sort of randomly. And he had a habit of carrying an I.M. bar to school. I don't know. You probably can get away with that nowadays. It's kind of a good reason. This is the reason why people put metal detectors and things in schools.
Yeah.
An I.M. bar. It doesn't really say, I don't think, what he did with that. Or maybe it does. As time passed, he became increasingly withdrawn. By the 8th grade, he had fallen behind by 2 years compared to others, and his grades suffered immensely. To avoid the conflicts at home, he would often flee to his grandmother's house. So, grades were going okay. Started getting bullied.
Grades going down.
Yeah,
that's quite a common occurrence, I think. Right?
Not that unexpected behaviour, really. Not really that much of unexpected behaviour to happen, I don't think.
No, definitely not.
Let me see. So he goes to his grandmother's house quite a lot. Arthur can never remember a time when he was not preoccupied with sex.
Is that what he was doing with the metal rod bar thing?
No, I don't think he was. I don't think he was doing it for that. Maybe he was. I don't know. Did they ever do the smell test on it? That's gross, right?
That is gross.
Arthur, what's this iron rod in your bag? Nothing. Let me smell the iron rod. Let me smell the iron rod.
No.
Arthur, it seems to smell an awful lot like fecal matter. Where have you had this iron rod, you chap?
Oh, dear.
Apparently, even from as early as 8, he frequently masturbated and progressed onto oral sex with both male and female friends. 8 years old. I mean, where's he learning that from at 8?
Yeah.
It's not... I don't believe that your body is I mean, I know everyone grows up differently in different stages, but 8 years old. Usually you sort of discover that thing on your own, right? And you sort of, it's when your body starts to change and you're getting little sensations and you're kind of more curious about your body and you sort of start experimenting.
When you're like a teenager,
or even just a little preteen, maybe like 11, 12, maybe at the earliest, maybe. I don't know. But 8 years old seems to be quite early in terms of actually fully masturbatory situations. And obviously he's doing things with other people as well. Let's see. Though his sexual escapades were not limited to humans. Oh, this is good. Oh, God, he's one of these people. Oh, dear. He claims he also had sex with animals, in particular cows, sheep, and a horse.
Cows?
These are big animals.
What does he do? Like, climb on top of it and he's got...
I don't know what you do with a cow. Where's the place in the ass? Ugh. That's dirty. Cows.
No.
Farm animals.
No.
I have a habit of being very gratuitously gross and obscene, and I'm trying not to do that.
No.
Let's carry on. That's making you feel queasy. He also killed a chicken while having intercourse with it.
Okay.
Alan, you guess he might say he was a fan of the cock, right?
Oh.
A fan of because it's a chicken.
I know exactly what you mean.
Was that ill-timed? What was ill-timed, right? Let me try it again. You'll think he's a fan of the cock. Better. Comedy's all about timing, you see, Alan. Comedy's all about timing. That's what they say, right? It's all about timing. He also told of his initiation into sex by his aunt. Okay, so this is where things took a turn. His aunt Tina, who made him perform cunnilingus on her. Oh my gosh, how old was he when this happened?
Well, I'm presuming
around that time.
Yeah.
This was always to be his favourite type of sexual intimacy. Can you really have a favourite type of sexual intimacy at that particular moment in time of your life? No.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't.
The thing with this is, and I learned this from my time as a youth worker back in the day, because we had to do obviously small little tutorial thing about sort of molestation and child abuse. And one of the things that always struck me was that at the particular moment in time when a child is being abused, not always do they realize that what's happening to them is wrong, because I know it sounds gross to say this, but the act of someone touching you in a certain place, it can feel nice, it can feel pleasurable, it can feel enjoyable, and as an unknowing victim of abuse, you may just think that's something that you enjoy.
Normal, yeah.
And it's not until, the power of hindsight, when you get later on, you realize that person abused their position of power, that you realize that was not right, and that they took something from that person that child should have naturally experienced of their own time and not had forced on them.
No, I completely agree.
Not to say that's the case with all children. Obviously, some children probably realize very quickly that what's happening to them is very wrong and that they speak out about it. But this is why sometimes people don't come. People say
when people come up about it
when they're like in the 20s or something. Yeah, and this is the thing. Like some people go, "Oh, well, if it was that much of a bigger deal, why didn't you speak about it back then?" It's like, well, maybe at that particular moment in time,
you didn't know it was wrong.
They didn't realize that was something wrong to do.
No, I completely understand. Yeah.
So maybe this is what sort of happened with him. I don't know. Don't blame me for the wording of this article, because I didn't edit this or write this in any way, shape, or form. So his aunt Tina is getting him to do all this stuff. By the time he was 14, Arthur claims that he was regularly having oral sex with his sister Jeannie, and his cousin Linda. He also claims that he had another relationship with a young girl who lived nearby and was caught by her brother while performing oral sex on the girl.
Oh my God.
The brother supposedly threatened to tell their parents unless Arthur performed oral sex on him as well. What a situation. What?
Did he do it?
It was at this time that Arthur's craving for sex became insatiable, and he continued to have oral sex whenever the opportunity presented itself. Yeah, I guess maybe he did.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. There's so many weird people in the world. If you saw someone do that to you, your first instinct would be, what the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck off her. Smack. Yeah. I wonder with this though, right? Because I don't know where this initial information comes from. Usually I will know when it gets to the end, so I don't know if this is like from his mouth or this is or whatever, but if this is something that he has told, if this is the story that he's told when he's been caught, is there a possibility that he has embellished this story a little bit more to sort of fill out some sort of fantasies that he's had, maybe?
Maybe.
You think?
Maybe.
It's potentially the case, right?
Yeah.
Where this maybe didn't happen the way it was, but he has sort of fantasized that it maybe went another way.
Yeah.
That he's gone, well, if my story's going to go down in history,
I want it to be this.
I want it to be this, where it did happen. Maybe.
Yeah.
So the next sentence here says, however, any penetration would be short-lived as Arthur would quickly use his erection. Okay, so when that came to putting it in the thing, couldn't do it. Oral sex, fine. Soon an event happened that changed everything Arthur knew or felt about sex. Okay, where's this going? On his way home from school one day, he was picked up by a man in a car, who held a knife to the boy's throat as he performed fellatio on him. In his fear, Arthur was unable to reach orgasm, so the man in anger turned Arthur over and brutally sodomized him and dropped him off at his house. Whoa. Arthur, from that point on, could not reach orgasm without pain being involved. Oh my gosh. I was going to say trauma.
Oh, God.
The associations that get linked up in such... When your mind is such that in that spongy zone.
Yeah.
The way... It's so interesting. This is why this stuff's so interesting sometimes. Like, you wonder how people become these types of people. And when your mind is so malleable at that particular moment in your life, these little events, well, not these huge events, in fact... have such an impact on the people they become in future. That's so insane. Oh my gosh. For the next few years, Arthur went from job to job, mingled with petty theft for which he was sometimes caught. In 1964, he married. The marriage only lasted nearly 4 years, and the couple had one son. Okay. I wonder if he pops up. I hope he's doing well. I hope nothing happens to this child. The turning point in Arthur Shawcross's life came in 1968 when Arthur was conscripted into the army and began a tour of duty in Vietnam. It was to be important because he was about to learn how to kill. Oh, fuck a ducker.
Can I just say this?
Yes.
A few of these stories that we've delved into, some of them have had like military backgrounds, haven't they?
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not trying to link the two.
No, we're not making any association in whatsoever shape or form. I think, of course, this is a difference between correlation and causation. And maybe I firmly believe that a lot of these people who became these people, became vicious psychopathic killers, they were probably heading down that road anyway, right?
Yeah, and do you think the reasons why they wanted to go into the military is to sort of like kind of... fulfill that fantasy.
Maybe they did it knowing what it would be, or maybe it says here that the being in the army taught him how to kill, but he was carrying an iron bar to school as a kid anyway, so he knew. I don't know how his killing method turns out, but maybe it's a bit more cleaner than what it would have been had he not been in the military. Maybe he would have just proceeded to beat people over the head with iron bars instead. Either way. I get the vibe. I get the vibe he was probably going to be a bit of a dick.
No,
anyway,
I understand.
So just before being shipped to Vietnam, he married again for the second time to Linda Neary after a very brief courtship. While in Vietnam, he was a dispatch clerk responsible for flying out to the various war zones with the ammunition via helicopter. He was horrified with the savagery of war at first, but soon was itching to be out among his fellow soldiers. It says here he enjoyed hunting the enemy and being a predator. I'm very curious as how his killing method's going to turn out. It sounds like it's going to be very not...
It's going to be... It sounds like
very sneaky.
brutal.
Very sneaky and very brutal. Apparently, once in the thick of war, Arthur later told of some of the atrocities that he committed. On one occasion, he found